So at the top level, what we believe in from a market strategy perspective is it has to be data first. So the data is an untapped potential to deliver the efficiency and synergy across the marketplace today. And Whitespace taking that data first piece is the most appealing aspect of the platform that they bring to the Verisk group. From across the Verisk group, we have various assets from data augmentation, from our ISO business unit through to the extreme event modelling and CAT modelling capability of Touchstone. And sitting in the middle of all of that is SQL or specialty business solutions as we are today. Assets like the SQL Hub, taking that data out, turning the data into meaningful insights to deliver the efficiency and synergy that the market is crying out for, to deliver better service to the client, better coverage, improved terms, and a more efficient turnaround from a placement perspective.
It's already inherent in what exists inside Whitespace. It's just the augmentation of. But what's really attractive about Whitespace is that it's built on a data-first approach. And that's really meaningful in the space of insurance because it means we can genuinely transform the value and the USP we ultimately give to the end insurance buyer. And what's magnificent about Whitespace is the defined data that's existing inside of it. And I almost like to refer to it as data capture by stealth, but the normal activities of a broker going in and negotiating a wording, which is really important for especially the large, complex, and wholesale-based placements, is they're in there negotiating to and fro with the markets. But what's going on behind the scenes is the opportunity to collect that data unbeknownst to perhaps the user. So we're not interrupting or disrupting some of the normal flow and workflow of what a broker needs to do, but we're actually getting that additional value and benefit out of what they had to do anyways, which is create their slip and put it into the market. And so when we couple that with other pieces of technology inside of the Verisk SBS value prop is that something like a SQL Hub can extract that data and then push it back into maybe another SQL platform like a policy administration system like SQL Broking or an Eclipse. But being able to see that information on the screen for a broker to then make at that point in time, educated, risk-clarified decisions is magnificent. And also from a placement standpoint, being able to see what was sent out and what was requested from the terms and conditions versus what was received from multiple markets in a consolidated view, that's really powerful. I mean, it sounds kind of trivial, but being able to actually use Whitespace for the placement process and make brokers more dangerous, if you will, I think is a really interesting thing. Separately, I think that the value of the data when it comes post-bind, being able to articulate brokerage's books, that's really quite interesting as well. And so I think we're moving in a world where Whitespace coupled with some of the other products that exist inside of Verisk allow brokers to really transform some of the way in which they trade. And equally that works on the underwriting side as well. By taking Whitespace information, maybe even doing data augmentation as it passes through the SQL Hub. You can use various different Verisk data sources, but augmenting that suddenly means that the broker, where they maybe used 10, 15 pieces of information as a part of the slip as they were creating it, now that 10, 15 might turn into 40 before it's seen on an underwriter screen. And an underwriter suddenly can make some really interesting decisions in the frame of that broker's portfolio, maybe even that class of business, or their overall book of business, and then align it maybe with some of their underwriting strategies. This is where we're starting to push and really leverage the value inside of Whitespace. I don't necessarily view it as a place where we're doing heightened versions of wordings back and forth. I think that it's so much more than that, and that it's the data that we're getting out of it. It may also be sometimes maybe algorithmic by stealth. You know, it's the information that's going through even as it's before it's getting to an underwriter screen. Maybe there are some auto rate quote bind or algorithmic APIs. Maybe those are the rating, rulebook rating as a service that's sitting in the cloud where it can pull on those. And suddenly I'm in that workflow, and now all of a sudden I get a little icon that says, actually, these 4 quotes are ready for you. And it gets really exciting when we think about follow and algo follow capacity. We've got Key out there. That's the first, and we know that there's a lot of appetite. They've done a really good job at pulling that off. But I think we are seeing a movement towards having those, and we're getting into a world where we may have large blocks of capacity, which is really meaningful in today's now very difficult and hardening market, is being able to have maybe 30 points of capacity there at your fingertips that is no additional work. And I think it's that reduction of rekeying and the frictional cost of accessing that capacity, having it all in one place. It's the Whitespace +++ inside of the Verisk offering that I think is a real, genuine game changer.